Nilalang, also known as Entity, is a 2015 Filipino horror film that's not necessarily awesome, but I'm going to try and make it sound like it is. And this horror movie stars one of this channel's favourites, so let's get on with it. Hi, I'm the Artie Dans and we're going to try and explore 5 awesome things about Nilalang. And be warned, there are some spoilers. The opening of the movie and at selected moments in the film, the filmmakers have used these awesome animated scenes. The scenes are violent and gory and really work well in the context of the film. The idea of using animated scenes to display violence and gore is nothing new, and video games have been doing it for ages. And while at times it can feel a little jarring in this movie, there's no doubt that the animated scenes look great. From the opening title sequence of the ancient Japanese samurais, to the comic-style death scenes that happen at brief moments in the film, these little cutscenes break up the visual style of the movie, even if they are a little different to each other. And while not animated, the motion graphics used at the end title sequence also looks pretty cool too, with a blend of 2D images and 3D blood splatter. It's a small thing, but sometimes it's the small things that make a difference. Actor Cesar Montano was 53 when filming this movie. He has a long history in making movies, both big and small, acting and directing. This is the second last movie he made in a career spanning 37 years. Now, I'm not suggesting that at 53 he's over the hill, not by a long shot, but Cesar was more than comfortable to flash his ass in the film during a completely out of place shower scene that's only there to establish with the audience that he's spending the night at Jane's house. And how does Jane react to him spending the night there? Well, she has a wet dream, imagining Tony licking and kissing every part of her clothed body. I like this scene as it's presented upside down to remind the audience that it's just a wet dream. But what I don't like about it is how it's interrupted by the possessed granny. But it's not just Jane who likes Tony though, as he gets it completely on with Miyuki later in the movie, and there's definitely some sexual tension with her sister Akane as well. Damn, Tony, you the man. Because the police are really incompetent in this film, seriously, check out this scene that occurs towards the beginning with the SWAT team. Why are they all just standing around watching the bad guy brutally murder their colleagues one by one? Stupid. Anyway, it's because of this, and it seems like a director issue here, that our main character Tony is a one-man army in this movie. He does it with guns, he does it with his fists. Although, I really love this scene where he gets drunk in his car and then stumbles on the street shooting his gun into the air. Thank God this Philippine street has nothing going on at this time of night. Can I mention a strange scene in this movie? After the murder of Tony's on-again, off-again girlfriend Tin by the evil spirit, he spends the night at Jane's house. After Jane's grandmother or housekeeper or whatever is run over and they travel to Miyuki's father's house for his help, on the drive home, Tony drops Jane off at her house. But less than a few moments prior, Tony was spending the night at her house. Where is the continuity director in this movie? Speaking of his partner Jane, she does a few kick-ass things and helps him out a few times, but Tony is the real badass. With one exception, and that's courtesy of... Oh, Maria. I'm starting to become a bit of a fan of Maria's horror output after enjoying her role in the film Erotibot, and with her being the best part of the Taiwanese horror film, Invitation Only. I've covered most of her horror movies on this channel before, so if you're interested in seeing what I think of them, please check out the random cards at the top of the screen during this segment. It's always good to see Maria's beautiful face on screen, but I have to admit I'm not a huge fan of all these tattoos she sports in this movie. What do you think of them? Anyway, she's responsible for my favourite moment in the film. Well, a few of them actually. This one in particular, where she grabs the handguns off 2 of her goons and just shoots the shit out of the glass bottles on her bar. She'd be a good person to take to a carnival and win a prize at those shooting gallery games. I also like how badass she was that she was the only person who's ever entered this temple and defeated the warrior within it to recover the book they need to defeat the evil spirit. And she emerges from the temple with a limp that's pretty quickly forgotten about, especially a few minutes later when her and Tony get it on. Trivia is not usually something I would consider an awesome thing about a movie, but I am struggling with this title, seriously. The first interesting thing about the film is that it was released on December 25, 2015. That's Christmas Day, and for a religious country like the Philippines, having a movie about an ancient evil spirit who possesses people and gets them to kill others seems like a bold and odd choice, especially considering the film contains a bit of nudity too. The film released as part of the 41st Metro Manila Film Festival. Believe it or not, it was nominated for 9 awards and won 5 of them, including Best Cinematography, Best Editing, Best Musical Score and Sound Engineering, and my personal favourite, Best Visual Effects. Visual effects. Really. 40 cinemas were showing the movie during the festival, but pulled the movie off screens the very next day in favour of 2 blockbuster films also from the festival. Did these cinema owners not realise that this movie won Best Cinematography? What did those other 2 films win? To be honest, one of the films won nothing, while the other came third in the Best Picture category, but none of them won as many awards as this. Anyway, after trending on the world's second worst social media platform, Twitter, LinkedIn being the worst, this movie made it back onto a few screens, probably after people realised how boring the other 2 films were. I hope you enjoyed this 5 awesome things video about the Philippine horror film Nilalang. Have you seen this film? And if so, what did you think of it? Is this Maria's best work yet? If you enjoyed this, please leave me a like and consider subscribing, and leave me a comment if there are other movies you want me to look at and find awesome things about. Otherwise, I will see you soon.